have you seen any of the Republicans walk cards and know what they're pushing right now?
I see what they push on social media. It's me.
I can send you some pictures.
Yeah, I haven't seen their walk cards. No one's knocking on my door anywhere. Topeka, we're pretty I'm in Tobias's district, I think 55. And yeah, there's no Republican running here.
My hopeful Republican opponent in the fall has pictures of herself with Laura Kelly and Dinah Sykes and talking about all the things that we did. I can email you these pictures. And she's calling herself a free thinker, and it's a little okay. I talked to a
Interesting.
I talked to a voter one night. I go up to this woman's house and you're the second woman to come by here tonight and talk to me about this office. And I'm like, I'm the only woman in this race. What are you talking about? And she's, oh, a young blonde woman just came by and refused to tell me what party she was. And that's when I'm like, young blonde woman? Laura was here. She's a Republican. It's like they
That is
haven't
interesting.
they haven't thought this through, and so they haven't developed the skills of thinking things through, so they're continuing to take the path of least resistance. And it's just, you guys, you made this poop sandwich, you got to eat it now, like,
That is interesting because that is not what I'm seeing in the other areas or even from the governor's race, Ty Masterson. They are all doubling and tripling down on being Trump people.
I've seen a
But they're
little.
but
Yeah.
they it seems like a lot of them are really they are talking the same talking points, but a lot of them are doubling down. They're certainly not trying to appeal to Democrats or sound progressive or align themselves with Kelly, that's for sure. They're really doubling down on being Trump supporters and being MAGA and being conservative and being fighting for babies' rights. And they're really, that's what I'm seeing at the Kansas House and the governor level from the Republican side. And that's interesting that she's taking the completely opposite
Well,
direction.
maybe she's reading the tea leaves and is regretting some of her decisions. But back to what I said about the poop sandwich, which if I get past this primary, I'm going to serve it to her on a platter. You got to eat this. You made it. You got to wolf that thing down,
Yeah,
baby.
because she has years of legislative record to show that she's not a free thinker, that
Nope.
she, from what I can tell, just votes along party line.
Heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, she can make whatever little posters she wants and pictures she wants, but her voting record stands. You know what I mean?
It's also one of those things where I think for Republicans, it's just getting harder to be reelected. My former city council, my former city council member, Marge Vote, very nice woman, knew her through Bike Walk KC. She lost her seat last election cycle, and I think a lot of it was because there's an R next to her name. And yeah, I wonder if Laura realizes that and going back to not really thinking ahead. Because I looked at this and I'm like, honey, they're going to walk into that voting booth and they're going to see that you're a Republican and they're not going to vote for you. With this political climate, people are so mad because they can't eat because of the stuff that your party did that they're just not going to vote for you, sweetie.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
just undeniable now that they could have passed anything they wanted in this last session. And every time someone tries to be like, Governor Kelly vetoed this or that, I'm like, bathroom bills. That's all the evidence I need that they could pass anything they want, because if those could have been stopped, they would have been stopped. It's just proof that they could have abolished property tax. That's what they wanted to do. They could have literally passed anything they wanted because they have the supermajority in both chambers. And I think that it was just so blatantly apparent this last session in a way that I just have never seen before. They didn't work on anything important. Anything. And they spent so much time on these things that don't matter while everyone was getting broker and broker and broker and scared and more scared. Everyone is terrified right now, and nobody they're not doing anything to make them feel better. That's for sure. And I think that this last session, it was just all the tricks they did and the gut and goes and the doing things at midnight.
No public comment.
No public comment. I think they're getting too brazen. And like you said, they're too high and mighty and they think they're invincible. And I feel like from what I've heard from other candidates and canvassing, and then I do know Republicans, that the tides are shifting this year. And I think that, like you said, this year's different than it was 2 years ago. And I think that there is a chance to bring some balance. And I'm not advocating that we need to go in there and take it over. The Democrats need to go over there and completely be in control too. I would just like some balance, because Kansas is a balanced state. We are not, despite what they want to say, we're not a red state. We're more of a purple state. And so we got to get some more balance back to the state house, whether it be a more reasonable Republican in a district that doesn't have a Democrat running or can't flip. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of Kansas House districts that just are not going to this year. They're not going to flip. They're going to stay red. But that doesn't mean that there aren't better options for Republicans as well. So just some sanity, some common sense, and some balance into the state house, I think, is all people really want.
Yeah, exactly. Just showing up and forcing them to do the right thing.
Yeah, I think this is a good year for it. And I'm really ready for this primary to be over, to be honest with you. But I think that the vote on the amendment for the Supreme Court justices is going to be a real indicator.
Yeah.
And that if it goes to the yes, then your candidate you're running against is betting wrong as a state level. But if it goes no, then we're right. People are changing and they're not listening to the Republicans that are in power anymore. And I think that I'm very interested to see what happens to campaigns and their messages on the Republican side, especially if it doesn't pass, because they're going to have to know that means trouble for trying to align themselves with as party fall in line people.
Yeah.
So your candidate, depending on how that vote goes, I feel like it's not going to pass. After the 2022 election with the abortion, with all that stuff, I was shocked that it didn't pass, to be honest, because I thought the same thing about Kansas that everybody says about Kansas, right? And so that made me go, maybe it's not so bad. There are enough sane people there.
Yeah.